Hi gang, Melissa here, and as you can see, I'm not in my normal setting. I'm not in front of my fireplace with my awesome fireplace sticker, nor am I in the kitchen with coupons. This setup right here, this is what I affectionately call my John and Kate plus 8 setup. I used to watch the John and Kate plus 8 show. I don't know if you did, but at the end of the show, they'd always have their little interview and comments in their cozy little nook in their basement on their couch with, you know, like pillows and blankets and stuff. So since this is more of a chit-chatty video, I thought I'd get a little bit more comfortable with it, and I grabbed a beverage, so you feel free to do so too. Doesn't matter what the beverage is, it's irrelevant. It's not what this video is about. It may be an adult cocktail, or it may not be. Maybe it isn't. Okay, so before I actually start talking, this is a clean video, and I know a lot of kids watch this with their moms, dads, whoever, because I get a lot of comments from you guys saying, oh, it's great, my kids watch it with me, they love it too. And I love that. And that's why if anything crazy comes up, I usually give a warning. And nothing crazy is coming up, but I am going to ask that if you are watching this video with a daughter or even a son, I guess, I mean, but probably mostly daughters, 16 and under maybe, or under 16, I guess I just want to tell you that maybe they don't need to watch it. And that's just because I have 4 girls, and ages 2 to 12, and I am so very careful what I say about my body image in front of them, because I don't want to put my crap onto them. Anytime anything of that nature, any topic of that nature comes up, I always make sure that I say nothing but positive things, even regarding my body. I'll be like, yeah, maybe a little bit bigger, but I look good. You know, whether I think that or not, I just definitely, in this day and age with, and I'm not gonna get off into this tangent, even though I could. The media, the pressure on young girls these days for their body image and to look a certain way, especially with all the photoshopping going on in magazines and whatnot. I try to be really, really careful what I say in front of my girls. So that's the only reason that I say, if you want them to watch, that's fine. I'm not gonna say anything crazy, but I just wanted to put that warning out there because I know how I feel about it. Yeah, I'm putting it out there. What are you doing? Put that thing down. I'm putting it down. It's down right now. It's down. Okay, so on to it. I put a little feeler out there a while ago about, hey, I'm thinking about doing a weight loss series, and just kind of letting you know what I'm doing, what's working for me, what's not. Tips, tricks. Not that there's really any tricks. I mean, there's not going to be any juggling or anything. Don't get excited. You were excited, weren't you? No, you weren't. However, when I thought about that, I also thought that if I was watching somebody doing a weight loss series, I would I'd want to know, why are you qualified to talk to me about this? What do you know? So maybe some of you may want to know that. If you don't, just X on out, and that's okay. I'm going to have my first weight loss video up here in the near future. But if you do kind of want to hear the background, I thought I would share that with you. And I would love for you to share with me as well in the comments below, or emailing me directly, and that's fine too. Because you guys motivate me as much as I may perhaps motivate you, and that's a big deal. It's cyclical. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's beautiful. It is. Okay, so it's not my weight loss story, it's my weight gain story. And it goes a little something like, okay, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. I think I'm going to skip childhood and whatnot. If you guys have questions about that and kind of want to know, hey, what was your forming, like how did you form your body image or eating habits, blah, 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 I think that's a different video, because if I go into all of that in one video, it's going to be forever. And then I'm going to hear a lot of, that took forever. So I'm happy to share it with you. Just kind of let me know what you want to hear, and I'll tell you whatever you want to know. I'll probably tell you too much. But let's just go with, for the past 3 years, 4 years, I've been married. It's almost my 4-year anniversary actually coming up. And I married somebody who had a different lifestyle than I have. From the time I was 21 to the time, I guess 4 years ago, I'm 37 now. This is not a math lesson. It's not. But from the time I was 21 up until several years ago, I was very fit. I ran 5 miles a day, easily 4 to 5 times a week, and then I would go to the gym for 2 hours and lift weights. No, I didn't have children or much of a life. It was pretty much work and then working out. But, and it wasn't so much, oh, because I want to look a certain way. It really was, it's a lifestyle. I felt really good. You know, it felt good to be fit. and it was necessary for my job back then. I did something different back then, and you had to stay in good physical shape. You know, I'm a stay-at-home mom now, so that sometimes you need to be in shape for that, but overall you don't really need to be, clearly. So that was my life, and although things happened and you know you have stressors in life that come up, that was actually a great way to deal with it. Well, I met my husband now, but he wasn't back then. Duh, I know, I know, you know that, I'm sorry. So I met Justin, and in the process of falling in love and all of that and moving on through stages, we actually did have the discussion. We had a lot of discussions. We discussed, you know, because I think it's important, again, not to get off task, to talk about what are your views on child rearing, what are your views on money, what are your views on politics, religion, and lifestyle. And I remember so clearly talking to him, I could almost tell you, not almost, I don't remember the day, but I remember where I was exactly. I was at a certain particular place in the city driving, and I said, I love you so much, and I just don't really know what to do. You and I have very different lifestyles. And he was a very hard worker. He still is, but he never worked out. He didn't lift weights. I mean, it just wasn't a part of his life, and that's fine. There's no judgment there for that. But if you're talking about combining your lives and combining lifestyles, it was just an important conversation for me to have. And I told him back then, I said, I don't know how this is going to work. Because back then I ate pristine. I ate so well. And I ate well all the time. I'd had my binge days, my cheat days. But for the majority of the time, I ate really well and I worked out all the time. And he didn't. And that's okay, you know, for him. And it's now okay for me, isn't it? No, it's not. That's why I'm making this video. Okay? So he took that conversation as seriously as I did. And what we did at the time, and again, this was 4 or 5 years ago, we both had worked at the same place at that time, and we had started working out together. We both worked midnights, and 4 o'clock in the morning, we would go, we had the luxury of working out for, you know, 45 minutes or an hour together. And it was great, and he was liking it, and I was liking it, and I thought this could really work. You know, we'll just kind of incorporate this into everything, and it could work. And so we went with that for a while, and then other things happened, and I'm going to get into those things too. I mentioned on my other channel, there's some other topics I'm going to start talking about in this channel. I'm a stepmom. I have 3 amazing stepgirls, and but we've had some experiences dealing with the whole blended family, and I've had some questions about it, and I'm happy to share, you know, obviously in a respectful way, and just to share my experiences and my thoughts and feelings going through particular situations, because it's not been easy. It's been easy with their relationship with me and them, but dealing with other dynamics. But again, that's another video. Wow, let's keep it focused, all right? So we had the conversation, and he took it very seriously, and I love him for that. He's so respectful like that. And we continued to court and date, you know, as the story goes. Boy meets girl, boy and girl fall in love. They date, they court, they get engaged, they get married, and then here you are, boom. And a lot of things happened before, during, after, and even honestly up until this week, really. So that factor into that. And during all of this, I ended up retiring from my previous job and becoming a stay-at-home mom, and deciding to use food as a coping mechanism. And I'm happy to admit that. I'm not like happy, like, oh gosh, I'm just so happy that. What I mean by that is I don't have a problem admitting that. I don't have a problem admitting much of anything, because it is what it is. There's no point in making these videos and talking to you if I'm going to get on here and lie. So I absolutely used food as a coping mechanism, as comfort, and I'm going to say so much that I know a lot of you watching this are going to relate to that. Because in my mind, and probably in yours, while you're sitting there stuffing your face because you are just having so many things happen at once, you go, well, I'm not smoking crack. I'm not shooting heroin. I'm not smoking meth. I'm paying my bills. I'm taking care of my babies. And it's not drugs, it's just food. And that's where I was. That is absolutely where I was. And I have no shame in admitting that. Because it's just what was necessary at the time to get by. And I think, you know, we are not all equally equipped to deal with this world and the things that this world throws at us. I think so much, I wanted to say so much and many at the same time. I think so many of us, especially women, and I know because I'm a woman, we are so hard on each other. I don't know why we're so hard on each other, and I really keep examining that. Because, and I used to be that in my early 20s, I was so judgmental. It was bad. But we're not all equally equipped, and everybody is going through some fight of their own, and it's hard on everybody. And how they deal and cope has a lot to do with experiences and how they were brought up and whatnot. But that's what I chose to do during that time. So, and I'm going to insert some pictures and show you. Because during my 20s, I ran like the Chicago Marathon in 2001. I ran several half marathons after that. I was just an avid runner, even though I hated it. Let me back up a little bit. I hated it. I hate running. I still hate running. It's a mental game, but I do it because I love the results. And then when it's done, I love the feeling I have when it's done. It's just a feeling of accomplishment. It's a feeling of I have beat my own self, and I have proven that I can do something that I probably didn't think I could every time. But the results are amazing. So I'm going to insert some pictures right here. Ooh, right here. Okay, so the pictures that you saw were basically how I looked from the time I was 21 to 33. And what you saw, I weighed between, in those pictures, except for the marathon picture, if I found it, I hope I found it. I was too tiny then. It was not flattering. But the bikini pictures that I showed you, I was easily 155 pounds, and I'm 5'6". And it may sound like a lot, but I have, the way my frame is, luckily, and no, I'm not bragging, I'm just saying, luckily my weight is very evenly distributed, and I'm thankful for that. But I also have a good amount of muscle mass, and so I generally weigh more than I look. Or at least that's what I've been told. I'm just saying, it's not like, oh, I look skinnier than I am. That's not what I'm saying. Can we stay straight in the message for a second? Okay. But I generally weigh more than I normally look. I was a size 8. I think for about 5 minutes, I made it to a size 6, and I started looking sick. 6 was not good on me. I popped on down to 138 pounds at one time, and people were starting to get worried about me. And that's when I was working out hardcore. I was eating about 1,000 calories a day. And even the pictures that I just showed you, man, I almost wish I could jump in my time machine and me and Marty McFly could go on back there and punch that girl in the face. Because the pictures that I showed you, I was more critical of myself then than I am now. And let me fill you in on what I weigh now. Right now I weigh 218. Oh, I know some of you went, oh, I do. And I'm happy about that. You wanna know why? Because I was 236. I've lost 18 pounds, and I'm like, this is great. I haven't seen the 2 teens and I don't even know how long. So that's the other reason I was waiting to do this video. I wanted to make sure that I was gonna stick with this and actually do it this time, because I've been making videos for 2 years. And I think it's even on my other channel. My main channel actually is 30 Plus Some. It's a beauty skincare channel. I'll link it if you're not subscribed there. Check it out if you want to. If not, that's cool too. No big deal. But even a year and a half ago, I'm in there talking about, oh, I'm 225 and it's time to do something right now. And it was, but I wasn't ready. And if you're watching this now, you're either ready or you're not. And what I want to say to you is, if you're not, it's okay. It's okay. You will be at some point, and when you're ready, you'll be ready. And I think that was a big part of this whole thing for me. I was in such good shape for such a long time, and then I wasn't for several years, and I kept punishing myself. And it really is just life. It's just what I needed to do to get by. And I have finally forgiven myself for that and stopped beating myself up for that, you know. And I think a lot of you, again, I think a lot of you watching this will relate and go, gosh, you know, I used to look like this and now I look like this. And you literally punish yourself mentally and emotionally every day for that. And I'm just saying, please forgive yourself. Stop. Even if you're not ready to make the changes now, give yourself a break. And I really mean that. Please give yourself a break. You deserve it, because whatever the reasons are that are keeping you where you're at, they're valid, real reasons, and it's okay. And it took me a long time to get to that place, but I definitely am ready now, just because things have evened out and things have finally settled down, and it's just that time. I'm just ready. So, and you won't be ready till you're ready. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but hopefully it makes sense. So what finally did it? What finally got me to this place right now where I have said, this is the time, I'm ready, and I'm actually taking action, and I am losing weight, and I'm sticking with the program. It was time. And what I mean by that is, we went through a bunch of things over the years, and those things have finally settled down, which I am so thankful for. And again, I'm happy to touch on those things in other videos. But I was emotionally ready. I was emotionally ready. I was mentally ready. And also, does it matter that even though for the past several years I felt horrible most of the time, especially in the summer, it's hot, it's sticky, doing anything is an effort for me anyway. I'm a cold person, not warm. And I got tired of feeling like that, and again, things started settling down, and I was like, okay, not only is it time, but I know that I'm actually able to do it now, because there's enough things going on that are calm and serene enough that I can be successful with this. And the other part too is learning to balance. I'm horrible at balancing in pretty much everything in my life. If something starts going crazy, I shut down everywhere. And that's why you will notice gaps in my filming on this channel and my other channel, because if too much is going on, it's just like, as Kristen Game said, she coined it perfectly the other day. I'd never heard it before, and I said that is exactly what it is. She goes, when you have too much going on, you turtle. And I was like, oh, that is exactly what I do. It's just like, oh, I mean, it's just self-preservation. And again, you do what you need to do to get by. But going back to, it's time. And I'm just at the point where I'm mentally, emotionally, and physically ready to do this. And I have already started, and I've been pretty successful doing what I'm doing so far, and with some balance to it. Because before, when I was pretty much from the time I was 21 till my early 30s, it was all or nothing. By that I mean, even though I had my cheat days and I had my cheat meals, for the most part I stuck with a pretty strict routine and pretty strict eating habits, because if I didn't, it would be a slippery slope. And that's what got me to where I am now. Not that my husband's lifestyle was different. He didn't hold a gun to my head. He didn't go, oh, hey, eat this. Now, don't get me wrong. He knew during various times that I was like, honey, I'm on the cutback. I need to just not have this stuff in the house. And he'd be so sweet. He'd be like, but I know you love Oreos, so I brought you some Oreos. And it's cute, but at the same time, you want to go, what are you doing to me? Like, why are you doing this? So I was just convinced that he was a chubby chaser for a while, because this is no pressure coming from him. He's amazing. He prefers me now to where I was before. And again, he's a chubby chaser. That's the only conclusion I can come to. but he didn't mind me the way I was in the beginning. Right? Right? You hear me? I know you hear me. He's just loving and supportive like that. And he didn't hold a gun to my head. And then when we'd have the conversations, every now and then I'd say, well, you cannot bring this stuff in the house, because I'm that person. If it's in the house, I'm gonna eat it. If it's not in the house, I'm not gonna eat it. So for that whole entire time where I was eating healthy and exercising, I just didn't buy the stuff because I knew better. However, I've gotten to the point where he can still have his goodies, and I am finally to the point where I can go, good for you, I'm not eating that, because I just don't want it. And that's a tricky place to get to. For me, the hardest is the first 2 days. First 2 days is the absolute hardest. I think a lot of people say the first week is the hardest. First 2 days is the hardest for me. But after I get through the first 2 days of eating clean and really being firm, I don't even really want it. I can look at a package of Oreos and go, okay, don't care. Because I'm feeling so much better from putting the better things in my body. That's me. That may not be you, but that's one of the things that I definitely wanted to touch on is, hey, why are you qualified? Why should I watch you? I mean, why do you know what you're talking about? I don't have a degree. Didn't go to school for it. Didn't go to school for nutrition. Didn't go to school for any of that. And so you're like, okay, so you don't know what you're talking about. That's not necessarily true. There's a little something in this universe called Google. And Google knows everything. And I am that obsessive compulsive person that will sit there and I will research health, nutrition, this, that, and the other for days on end, because it's that interesting to me. And I've done this for the past decade, and along with the whole fitness magazines. I know that doesn't make me an expert, but I'm knowledgeable, and it doesn't make you an expert, but it makes you informed. And I think that that's pretty much just as valid. If you do if you're knowledgeable about it and you're informed, it's completely relevant. You don't necessarily need the degree. Again, I'm not saying I'm an expert. I'm just saying that I'm well versed, I'm well informed on it. I also watch a lot of Dr. Oz. Let me touch on that for a minute. Dr. Oz is getting on my nerves. And here's the reason why. That man's smarter than I ever will think about wanting to be. However, if you watch a lot of Dr. Oz, you may probably feel the way that I feel, in that it's impossible to keep up. Every day there's a new Garcinia Cambodia, and I'm saying that wrong, and I know that. Green coffee tea. He just brought up another pill the other day that's a combination of another flower. I'll put it right here below. And I even tweeted him, because I'm sure he's watching and listening to my tweets. No, he's not. But I was like, really, Dr. Oz? So we started with the Garcinia Cam whateverness, the green tea, and now there's this new one. Am I supposed to take all three? Am I supposed to take one? And they're not substitutes. It's not a substitute for exercise and eating well, but they're supposed to assist and help you burn even more calories than you normally would by yourself. So Dr. Oz, while he is so informative, it's frustrating, because, you know, there's this supplement, that supplement. You can't keep up. It's impossible. For me, it is anyway. It's just overload. And that's when I get back to, let's keep it simple. I get back to exercising, not just for the calorie burn, but for just keeping your body strong. Obviously, you want to burn more calories than you take in if you're wanting to lose weight. And I don't believe that carbs are the devil. I know a lot of people do, but I don't believe that all spaghetti is evil. Because, and that's for me in my own body anyway, through experimenting. In my early 20s, I did the whole way low carb thing. I never went Atkins because I just couldn't do it. But I found that when I was eating virtually hardly any carbohydrates, and I was going high protein and protein shakes and this and that, results were good, but my energy was down. And then I would incorporate a couple dinners a week where pasta was a side dish, and I just was a better person for it. Not just physically, but emotionally, I was a better person for it. And different things work for different people, and I understand that. So without getting too crazy off track and out of the box, the whole point of this video is I want to let you know that while I don't know everything, I don't have a degree, I am really informed, and for the majority of my adult life, I actually didn't spend it like this. I spent it a lot smaller and a lot healthier. And that's what I'm going back to. And maybe you're at a point where you're trying to go to either back there or to that place, and this is something we can do together. I don't know everything. I know that you guys are going to teach me so much throughout this process, and I love that. That's one of my favorite things about making videos, is the comments and the interaction, because I learn so much from you guys. But there is some information that I have that may be helpful, and if not, that's okay too. One of the things that is brand new to me that I have started doing that I feel has helped me lose the 18 pounds I've lost already, and will be a staple in my life, I got a NutriBullet. And some of you are like, what? Yeah, it's an as seen on TV product, but it's amazing. And I'm gonna do a full review on the NutriBullet, but I've been doing the juicing thing. That's not what I don't only juice. I don't only juice. That's not what I'm saying. This is something that I have researched for a long time. I finally decided to pull the trigger and get the NutriBullet. I got it about a month ago and have incorporated it into my life. I'm not sitting here going, oh, I just drink 3 juice drinks a day and that's what's doing it. No, I've incorporated it into my daily routine in my life, and I am surprised by several things. First and foremost, I'm surprised by the energy. Forget the weight loss. I have so much more energy than I ever even thought about having before. And that's crazy to me. That just, and you would think it's common sense, but at the same time, you always hear people say that, and you're like, oh, if you do this, you'll have more energy. And you're like, yeah, whatever. And I was like that. I was like, mm-hmm. And then I started doing it, and within 2 days, I was like, this is amazing. I feel like a different person. And just your skin is a little bit brighter, and the whites of your eyes are whiter, and it's just a nice little side effect there. So I'm going to do a full review on the NutriBullet for you, and even show you, do a little demo for you, and kind of the drinks that I normally use. I pretty much have the same drink when I do it. It's normally my morning. Instead of breakfast, I have a juice smoothie, whatever you want to call it, juicing smoothie. I put normally kale, a carrot, blueberries, raspberries, an apple, and flaxseed and chia seed in there, and boom, I'm off. I'm done for the day. Well, not done for the day, but done for the morning. And I'll go into the meals and whatever in a different video. But this is just to kind of say, this past few years of my life, this is something that was new to me as far as being large, and it's nobody's fault but my own, but it's okay. It's just what I needed to do to get by for a while, and I'm excited to be back on track to getting back to where I was before. Not that I think I'll ever be exactly like I was before, because that was before children. That's a different video. No, it's not an excuse. I know it's not an excuse. But I just kind of wanted to share a little bit of my experience, and whatever questions you have, let me know. And if there's videos on certain topics, let me know about that too. I'll share anything with you. I'm just to that point in that age where I've screwed up so much, and I might as well just admit it and learn from it and move on. I don't know what else to say. So thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time, and I hope you stick around and watch the future videos and go through this process with me, and I hope you teach me a few things too, because I got lots to learn. So, alright guys, thanks so much for watching. Bye.